Every December I hear the same thing from gardeners. I'll start preparing in spring, and every year I give the same answer. If you wait until spring, you've already missed your chance to grow some of the healthiest, most resilient plants your garden will ever see. Here, on SoilSage Chronicles, I've learned that the real magic of a thriving garden begins long before the warmth of spring. It begins right now, in the cool slowness of December, when most people have packed away their tools. The reason is simple: some of the most powerful, productive, and protective plants you'll ever grow need a long, gentle head start. December. Sowing doesn't just save you money, it gives you stronger plants, earlier harvests, natural pest resistance, and a level of garden health you simply can't buy at a nursery. So today, I'm walking you through exactly what seeds you should plant this month, why it matters, and how these quiet winter efforts set the stage for a thriving garden all year long. December seed starting is one of the best-kept secrets among seasoned gardeners. When you start seeds indoors right now, while the air outside is crisp and still, you're not just growing plants, you are growing time. Time for roots to establish, time for stems to strengthen, time for leaves to build resilience and structure. Most people, head to garden centers in March or April and just buy whatever seedlings are available, often raised with synthetic fertilizers and grown in crowded conditions. But experienced gardeners know better. Starting seeds in December, well, it gives you complete control over soil quality, watering, light, and overall plant health. You end up with plants that are sturdier, more flavorful, and honestly better adapted to your unique microclimate. And, just as importantly, you avoid paying anywhere from $4.99 to $14.99 per herb plant when you could easily grow them for just pennies. Let's dive into the seeds that make December really one of the most important months on the gardening calendar. If you've been following SoilSage Chronicles for a while, you already know how I feel about herbs. They are the unsung heroes of every healthy garden. I plant herbs along the edges of my beds not just because they look beautiful, but because their scent-heavy essential oils confuse pests, attract pollinators, and create a natural border of protection. But here's the catch. Perennial herbs are slow growers. They need several months of gentle indoor development before they're ready to handle spring conditions. December is the perfect time to give them that start. Thyme. The cornerstone herb. Thyme is a tiny plant with huge impact. Starting it in December gives it enough time to develop the woody structure it needs to become perennial. I love placing thyme on the corners of my raised beds where it spills outward, softening edges, and releasing scent whenever you brush past. Starting it early means you'll have full, lush plants by May, far earlier than anything store-bought. Sage. Strong, aromatic, and protective. Sage is honestly one of the most satisfying herbs to grow, but it really needs patience. When you start it in December, you give it the time it needs to develop into a sturdy bush by summer. Besides being delicious in teas and dishes, sage helps repel pests like cabbage moths, and by mid-season, its flowers become a real bee magnet. Oregano, a garden workhorse. Of all the herbs I start early, oregano is the one that rewards me the most. Once it's established, it just cascades down garden beds, attracts pollinators non-stop, and fills those pathways with its amazing fragrance. But honestly, oregano can be slow, and a bit moody if you sow it too late. December gives it the perfect runway to really flourish into the leafy, aromatic powerhouse it's meant to be. Savory, winter and summer, is the underrated flavor boost. It's one of those herbs that experienced gardeners really adore but beginners often overlook. Winter savory is evergreen, while summer savory is fast-growing and incredibly flavorful. Starting both in December gives your herb garden a unique edge, something a little beyond the usual basil and mint that everyone else grows. Rosemary, the queen of early starts. Rosemary is, honestly, a legend. Hardy, medicinal, fragrant, and protective, rosemary thrives when grown from seed early. December sowing ensures you end spring with a robust plant instead of just a fragile little sprig. Starting rosemary early helps it develop its woody stem structure, making it more drought-tolerant and resilient. Garden folklore even says rosemary belongs at every garden gate. While I can't promise magic, I can promise that early sown rosemary looks incredible flanking garden entrances. While perennial herbs take the spotlight in December, certain annual herbs absolutely love cool temperatures, and they grow even better when started indoors now. If you're in a climate with mild winters or early springs, these herbs will be some of the first fresh flavors you enjoy in the new year. Parsley, the patient herb. Parsley takes its time to germinate and establish, which makes December an ideal moment to start it. With a bit of warmth and consistent light, your parsley will be ready to move outdoors long before the heat arrives. It retains its flavor best in cold weather, giving you fresh leaves for winter salads or early spring soups. Dill, a cool weather giant. Dill surprises many people with how quickly it grows once established, but its root system needs a gentle, early start. Started indoors this month, and by late January or February, you'll have tall, feathery plants that attract ladybugs and lacewings, two of your greatest allies against aphids. Cilantro, the frost-loving favorite. You know, most gardeners don't realize cilantro actually prefers cool weather. It bolts really fast in heat, which makes an early start essential for anyone who wants a long harvest window. Sowing it indoors in December gives you flavorful, leafy bunches, exactly when the winter kitchen needs them most. If you garden somewhere with mild winters or early last frost dates, December is honestly one of your most productive months. You can start hardy greens now and be harvesting earlier than anyone else in your region. Kale, the frost-kissed champion. Kale thrives in cold weather. When started indoors in December, it develops thick leaves, stronger stems, and a deeply rich flavor profile. By the time your neighbors are buying seedlings in March, you'll already be harvesting. Mustard greens are colorful, bold, and winter-loving. Purple mustard, honestly, is one of the most stunning cool-season greens you can grow. Sowing it now gives your garden vibrant color and, your meals a spicy kick during the heart of winter. Swiss chard is the early producer. Swiss chard doesn't flinch at cold. Starting it in December means you'll have big, colorful stalks ready by early spring, way before store-bought bunches hit the shelves. Napa cabbage. It's really the winter workhorse. It does beautifully in cool weather, but it does need a bit of time to form a full head. Sowing in December, well, that ensures you get a steady early season harvest and, honestly, gives you delicious foliage before those pesky pests show up in spring. The more seasons you spend gardening, the more you start to realize that success isn't really about how much space you have or how fancy your tools are. It's actually about timing. December, believe it or not, is one of those months that quietly separates average gardens from truly extraordinary ones. Planting these seeds now, it doesn't just give you an early start, it really gives you a healthier ecosystem, stronger plants, and, honestly, a much smoother gardening season from start to finish. Whether you're just starting out on your gardening journey or you've been following SoilSage Chronicles for years, these early efforts always pay off. If you found this guide helpful, go ahead and share it with another gardener who could use a head start. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to SoilSage Chronicles for more seasonal tips, deep dive tutorials, and tried and true gardening wisdom. The seeds you plant today, both in soil and knowledge, are really going to shape your garden for seasons to come.